One of the best ways to develop your creativity is to learn new skills. One of the best ways to get constructive feedback is to submit your images for a portfolio review. Today's portfolio review comes from the images of Chapman. Catherine runs the website feelmorecreative.org, where she runs a whole host of fundamentally creative photographic projects that involve as many photographers from a broader church as possible. We encourage you to go to feelmorecreative.org to check that out. Now, Catherine recently got herself involved in a local boxing event that was set up to raise funds for the charity Deborah, the Butterfly Skin charity, does some amazing work. We encourage you to check those out. Also, she felt a little outside of her comfort zone, and knowing that I was a wrestling photographer, she wanted some feedback on the images that she took. So we're going to have a look at what was taken there and see if we can see what went well, see what can be improved on, and see how she can maybe take the photography for this action ringside work to the next level. Now, we're looking at a range of factors as we look through these images, such as composition, technical ability, storytelling, and we're looking at what went well in the creation of the images, as well as what can be improved on to take the photography to the next level. One thing I will say is that overall the venue looks like it's very, very dimly lit, so we're going to be working with quite high ISOs to capture any sort of fast shutter speed action, so it's going to be a challenge, which we can see there. You've got noise reduction software in your Lightroom now, which is really, really good at handling high ISO. So if you are shooting this sort of thing and you know you need to use a high ISO, switch to RAW, utilize the noise reduction software in Lightroom, and you'll see that it cleans it up very, very well indeed. But a good attempt at trying to get a different angle on here. And we've got the judges at ringside, and we've got, what really intrigues me about this image is the cornerman looking on here. I really, really like his posing with his hands there and the way that he's looking on. So lots to like about that shot there. If only the point of interest was a bit more clear in terms of the composition there. Another interesting angle. Already 2 shots in, we can tell that Catherine's an experienced photographer stepping outside of her comfort zone, because she's trying different things immediately, trying different angles, trying to get different viewpoints on this. I love the leading lines of the ring ropes in the foreground against the ring ropes in the background. And what I really like about it as well is that the ring ropes in the foreground aren't too bright. They're not dominating, which leads us to sort of draw our eye into the shot again. It's a shame that lights come through, which is slightly distracting in the background there, and that the main brightest body and the biggest body in the picture is actually turned away from us, and there isn't much shape or form in there. But the reaction of the lad there who's either just been punched or is dodging the punch there in the foreground is great. Love the tassels moving in the foreground. We can see that we're working on high shutter speed, so if we do get that connecting shot of a punch, it's going to be captured brilliantly. And again, we've got the cornerman in the background there, adding a little bit of extra storyline and a little bit of extra narrative into the shot there. So a good attempt at doing a nice low angle on here and trying to get a different angle on the shot and something a little bit different there. A square crop, which I really, really like. It's a simple crop that allows us to sort of work with symmetry a lot, and the symmetry of this shot is the 2 competitors going at each other in the foreground. The ring rope in the foreground is actually cutting through them, cutting off them. I'm not sure whether I like it or whether I don't like it in this one. It has disembodied the legs at the bottom, which is quite interesting. I quite like it. It's quite funny, but it's also disembodied sort of like the heads and everyone sort of looking on in the foreground as well. So if we can duck underneath that rope and get a little bit closer, we'll eliminate that and we'll get a nice clean shot of the competitors sort of going at each other in the mid-ground there. The light in the background, again, the brightest part of the image, is sort of giving us a backlighting there coming across, but good timing on the punch there, the jab sort of coming in there. We've got the connection on the face, we've got the red gloves against the blue gloves, which is nice, and we can see both faces on this one, and the fact that we can see both faces means that we've got a good element of sort of action, a good element of storytelling, and a good moment that's happened well captured. This is what I talk about in wrestling all the time. This is like moments within moments, and this moment here of the cornerman looking on with the foreground of the competitor slightly out of focus allows us as a viewer to make some judgments, and allows us as a viewer to make some ideas about what might be happening. We can't see what's happened to the guy in the foreground, but judging by this guy's face here looking on, I would suggest that it may not be going particularly well for that fighter, which is giving us our sort of mind's eye into the picture, which is nice. So a lovely bit of storytelling and a little bit of a different angle again on this one, with good technical expertise there to get those guys pin sharp in the background. Interesting angle here again. Potentially could have just moved the crop up just a little bit on this one, so we don't have this element here of people in the background just in that bottom corner. I'd like to see a nice clean white line if we're going to use that, you know, shallow depth of field to make this foreground rope out of focus. But again, it's a good moment there that's been captured. We can see sharp on the face of the guy in the background there, sort of looking on. It's interesting shape and form of the body in the foreground coming in there, and everything just at that slight Dutch angle, sort of allowing us to tilt our head, but it does give us a little bit of a different angle. It's a shame we've just cropped off the top of the head there. May have been something to give us a little bit more space just to crop into. Just little nicks on crops can be a little bit distracting unless they're done specifically, deliberately, unless you've got things, you know, cropping out of each edge of the picture. But again, a good capture here to get the expression on the guy in the background there. And again, moments between moments. I love the expression of the lad's face here. Just looking at his cornerman, just really, really focused there. Look at the focus on that one of the Terminator. Yeah, great. So we can't see the expression of the cornerman there looking at the boxer, but we can imagine what it is. We can imagine what that looks like, and we almost don't need it. Yeah, love that. Good moment in there, and just well observed, well caught, good exposure. Really interesting sort of shadow coming through the ring rope that sort of goes through his eyes there. And that shadow continues on through the sleeve there. It's really, really, really interesting. I like that shot a lot. For me in this one, the focus is just in the wrong place. We've got the perspective here. We're really, really close to the boxer in the foreground, and we're really, really close to his perspective. He's the one that's pinned sharp in this. He's the one that the focus point has gone on. I just wish that focus point had gone on to the competitor in the background so that we can see his face clearly. We can see his expression, and we can see what his intent is for this fight to come through in here. Potentially as well, may not need the shorts and the glove here in the bottom right hand corner. A narrower, more panoramic crop there, just dragging our eyes straight through might have helped this image there to do something a little bit different. There we go. This is what we're talking about. This is boxing photography. Now, first things first, before where we had the crop just going through the top of the head, now we've got a deliberate crop going through the head, and that deliberate crop is also going through the leg on the side and the leg at the bottom. So we've got crops coming out of each edge of the picture there, or at least 3 edges of that picture there, which suggests that that crop has been done with intent. But it's all about that impact. It's all about getting that punch on the face. It's all about the distorted face and the nature of boxing and the brutality of it there, which has been, again, with your cameras now that can take so many images per second, it's possible to get these images with a lot more ease, I suppose, than we used to in the past. And this is a great example of that, of getting that punch right on the point of contact and distorting the face and giving us a different image there. Great image for context. So for Deborah, for the charity, and for the organisers, and for the people involved, and for the spectators, to look like they were part of a big event, to look like it was something that happened that had mass appeal, that raised loads of money. This is great. This is the image that's going to be used for the PR and the publicity. So I'm glad that you took the time to take this wide angle shot. The brightest part of the image is the ring, as it should be, and the branding of Deborah in the background, which is really, really important. What I like about this image are these two down here with their backs to the ring, enjoying their drinks and clearly enjoying a laugh with each other as these lads are going at it in the background, and the waiting staff is going on around them, and the cornermen are looking on, and the judges are watching the ring, and you've just got these two down here just having a great time out. And I think that's great. I just think it's really, really lovely, and it helps sort of tell an extra narrative there for that shot. So well observed on that one. Last one here, back to the square crop and back to a wide angle lens as well. I like this one as well. I like the leading lines again of the ring ropes in the foreground. We got a little bit of sort of specular highlighting there from where the sweat has sort of been punched off the side of the face. A good action here for me, good leaning in there from the boxer in the background there coming in. He's just off focus. We've just got that point of focus on the guy in the foreground, and I wish it was for the guy in the background. My main piece of advice, again, we've got those ring ropes coming in at the bottom, cutting off the feet. Be braver next time. Get on the canvas, get underneath that bottom rope if you can, and try and get some dramatic images from that angle there. So there it is, there's the images of Catherine Chapman. You can check her out. Have a look at the perspectiveproject.co.uk as well for some more of the sort of exhibition-led stuff that she does online. She reaches out to a lot of photographers, lots of artists, and gets them all involved in showcasing their art up and down the country. And yeah, just wonderful to see your images there, to see yourself push yourself outside the comfort zone. And I hope some of the feedback there has been useful to you. If you've enjoyed that and you're a photographer and you'd like your own portfolio review, you can get one. You can email me, portraitofawrestler@gmail.com. We'll send you all the information about how you can get involved and how you can get your images featured on this channel, and how about we can do a portfolio review to take your images to the next level. What was your favourite image from those? Let me know in the comments below as to which one was your favourite. And if you'd like to check out some of our other portfolio reviews, they will be appearing up here. You can click on the playlist and have a look back through and have a look at everyone else's work from around the world. We've had submissions from Canada, from the USA, from Australia, from all across Europe. Have a look at some of those images, have a look at some of the feedback, and see if we can help you take your photography to the next level. If you've enjoyed this, hit the subscribe button. You can check out our store, portraitofawrestler.com/store, and you can follow me on the Instagram and the Twitter at Y2JimBob. It's Portrait of a Wrestler everywhere else, and as ever, all the very best.